Presidente Lula,
Mr.
presidente do
President
Brasil
Lula,
e presidente dos BRICS,
President of Brazil and
Anwar
President of the BRICS,
bin Ibrahim,
Mr. bin
primeiro-ministro da
Ibrahim,
Malásia,
Prime Minister of
Ricardo
Malaysia,
Alban,
Mr.
presidente
Ricardo
da
Alban,
CNI,
President of
saudando
CNI.
todas as
I
empresárias
would
e
like to
empresários
salute all
brasileiros e participantes
business
dos BRICS,
people from Brazil and
ministras
from
e
BRICS
ministros de
countries,
Estado,
state ministers,
ministro do Comércio dos Emirados
Minister
Árabes
of
Unidos,
Trade
Tani
of
Al
UAE,
Zerhoud,
Mr. Ehud,
Mônica Monteiro,
Ms.
saudando
Mônica
aqui
Monteiro,
todas as mulheres aqui presentes,
representing all women
Eduardo Paes,
present,
presidente da nossa
Mr.
bela cidade
Mayor
do Rio de
Eduardo
Janeiro,
Paes from Rio de
amigas
Janeiro,
e amigos.
dear
Em
friends,
pouco mais de uma década,
in a little
os
over
BRICS
a decade,
se
the
transformaram
BRICS
num
have
grande
turned
e importante
into
protagonista
a major
da
protagonist
geopolítica mundial.
in world
E
geopolitics.
destacar aqui
I would like
a importância
to
desse
highlight
encontro
the
de
importance of
empresárias
this encounter,
e
this
empresários
business forum,
e as oportunidades
bringing together business
de
people,
investimentos
creating opportunities
recíprocos
for
entre os
investments
nossos países,
in our countries.
fortalecimento
This
do
will
comércio
strengthen
exterior,
foreign trade,
incentivo à
and it will
inovação
foster
para podermos
innovation
avançar ainda
so
mais.
that we can
Enfim,
move
trabalho
forward.
muito profícuo que
So
eu
this
tenho
is a
certeza
very
está
efficient
encaminhado. E
work.
agradecer
I'm
aqui
sure
ao
it's
Ricardo Alban,
excellent work.
saudando aqui
Thank you,
todo o
Mr.
setor
Alban. I would like to
empresarial
salute
dos
the
BRICS.
business sector from all
Presidente
BRICS
Lula
countries.
Tem defendido
President Lula
maior
has
protagonismo
been fighting for
sul-sul,
further
tem defendido
South-South
o
protagonism. He has
multilateralismo
been fighting for
e tem defendido o
multilateralism
livre comércio
and free
que
trade.
promova
It
desenvolvimento.
promotes development, of
Hoje, nos
course.
3 grandes debates
In
planetários,
major debates around the
segurança
world,
alimentar,
food
o
security,
Brasil é o grande
Brazil
protagonista
is a
como
protagonist
o
in
maior
that area.
exportador do
We
mundo
are the largest
de alimentos.
food
E o
exporter
presidente
in the
Lula acabou
world.
de lançar
President Lula
plano
has just
safra
launched
recorde.
a record
E
plan
nós
for this
deveremos
year's
ter mais de
harvest.
10%
Over
de aumento da
10%
safra
increase in
agropecuária
this
este
year's
ano.
agricultural
E o Brasil
harvest,
acabou
or
de
production
receber
rather.
o título
Brazil has just
de livre
received
de febre
the title
aftosa
of free
sem vacinação.
From a
No
disease
se-
with
na
no
segurança
vaccination.
energética.
In energy
Nós
transition,
temos
we have
85% da energia
85%
elétrica
of the
limpa
electric
e
energy,
renovável.
clean matrix,
E
renewable,
compromisso
and a
com
commitment
a energia limpa.
to clean
O presidente
energies.
Lula acabou de
Mr. President Lula
assinar
has just
o
signed
aumento do etanol
an increase
de
in
27
ethanol
para
from 27 to
e do
30%,
biodiesel,
and
o
biodiesel
biodiesel de 14
from
para
14
15%.
to
E o
15%.
Brasil tem tudo para ser dos
Brazil
grandes
has what it takes
protagonistas
to be
na
a major
produção de
protagonist in the production of sustainable aviation fuel.
ajudando na questão da
This will, of course,
descarbonização.
help
Na
decarbonization.
mudança do combate às mudanças climáticas.
We are also present in
O
fighting
Brasil tem
climate change.
compromisso, o presidente
Brazil
Lula
and
tem
President Lula
compromisso
are
no
committed
combate às
to
mudanças
fight
climáticas.
climate change.
O Brasil inverteu a curva do
Brazil has
desmatamento
changed the
e a meta
deforestation curve.
é desmatamento
target
ilegal
is
zero.
zero
E até
illegal
com recursos do Fundo
deforestation.
do Clima
We have
e do Fundo da Amazônia
resources from the Amazon
recuperar
Fund and the Climate Fund,
esta
and we
que é a
want to
maior
recover
floresta
the
tropical
largest
do mundo,
tropical
que
forest in the
sediará
world,
a COP30
a forest that will host
este ano, agora em
COP30
novembro,
this
em
year
Belém,
in November in
do
the
Pará.
city of Belém, in
Mas
the
quero
state of
trazer
Pará, in the north of Brazil.
muito afetivo a
I would
todos,
like to salute
destacar
all
o
of you
compromisso
this
do
morning
presidente Lula
and highlight
na
President
sua
Lula's
governança
commitment
para nós
to
termos
governance,
mais
so
desenvolvimento
that we can have
com inclusão
more
e
development,
sustentabilidade.
more
Bom
inclusion,
trabalho.
and more sustainability. Thank you very much.
Senhoras e senhores,
Ladies and gentlemen,
com a palavra, o presidente da República,
President
Luiz
of
Inácio
the
Lula
Republic,
da
Mr. Luiz
Silva.
Inácio Lula da Silva.
Vocês sabem que tem que tirar fotografia.
That I have to
Porque
take
não se sabe
photographs
quem será candidato
because
daqui a ano.
we don't know who is going to run for the presidency
Você tá tirando a
elections,
fotografia com a
presidential
pessoa
elections that we'll
certa.
have in a year from now. So you have to take the right picture with the right person before the election. First of all, I would
Dizer
like
para
to
vocês da
say
alegria
how happy I
de estar
am
participando
to be participating
desse evento.
in this event.
Toda vez
Every time
que os presidentes da República dos países
that the presidents of the republics of many countries decide
fazer evento
to
internacional,
hold international
é
event,
importante que
it's
junto com
very
esse
important,
evento dos
together with the
presidentes da
event,
República, do
the
chefe de
presidents,
Estado,
the heads of state and
seja
government
compartilhado com
should be
outros
shared these
segmentos da
events
sociedade.
with segments of the civil
Tanto os
society,
segmentos que representam a sociedade
segments
civil,
of civil society that,
quanto os setores
as also the
empresariais.
business sector should be also
Porque, no
represented and shared.
fundo,
Because the bottom line
nós,
is that
presidentes,
we,
abrimos a
heads of
porta,
government or state, we
mas
open
quem
the
sabe
door,
fazer
but those
negócio
that
são os
know how to
empresários.
do business are the businessmen
Por isso
and
eu quero
women.
comunicar a
And so
vocês
that's why I would like to convey a
que já
message
aceitei
to
o
all of you
convite
that
do
I did accept
primeiro-ministro
the invitation
Malásia
by the Prime Minister of
para em outubro
Malaysia
participar
so that
do
in next
encontro
October
da
I'll
ASEAN,
participate in the
sabe,
ASEAN
lá na
meeting,
Malásia.
summit meeting
E já quero
in
dizer
Malaysia,
que os
in
empresários
Kuala Lumpur.
brasileiros
And I'd like to
precisam se
invite the
preparar
Brazilian
para a Malásia.
businessmen and women to prepare themselves to travel to
Porque
Malaysia
Quem quer
because
vender,
those
vai.
that want to sell will go.
quer comprar,
Those that
vai.
want to buy
Fica
will also
esperando
go
as
attend the
coisas não
meeting. They
acontecem.
don't just wait and
Por isso eu
expecting things to
queria
happen. So that's why, from the bottom of my
agradecer a
heart, to
presença
thank
aqui do
the
primeiro-ministro
presence
da
of the
Malásia,
Prime Minister of
Anwar
Malaysia,
Ibrahim, meu
Mr. President of the Republic, Geraldo
meu querido
Alckmin,
companheiro
and
Ricardo
my
Alban,
dear brother
presidente da
Ricardo Alban,
Confederação das
who
Indústrias.
is the president of
Quero
the
cumprimentar a
National
autoridade
Confederation
estrangeira aqui
Industry.
presente,
I'd like to greet all the foreign authorities attending this meeting.
ministro do Comércio dos Emirados Árabes,
The Commerce Minister of UAE
o companheiro vice-ministro do Comércio da
and
Indústria,
the Deputy Minister of Industry and
concorrente da
Commerce
República da África do Sul,
of South Africa,
Zuko Goldlimp.
Mr.
Quero
Bolink,
agradecer
and
a
also
presença
like to
dos
thank the
embaixadores
presence of the
estrangeiros
foreign
aqui
ambassadors here in this
Sobretudo,
meeting,
eu
and
quero
above all, I
agradecer
would like to
uma
thank
extraordinária
an extraordinary
novidade do BRICS,
novelty
que é
of the BRICS,
a
which is the
participação
participation
das
of
mulheres,
women,
sobretudo
and above
a
all,
criação
the
do grupo de
creation
mulheres
of
empresárias do BRICS,
the business
representada
women
no Brasil pela
group of the
companheira
BRICS that is
Mônica
represented
Monteiro,
by Monica
presidente
Monteiro from Brazil. So I'd like to greet the women's group from the businesswomen
da
group at BRICS.
companheira Ana
And our sister
Nestorova,
Anna
presidente do
Mitsadova,
capítulo
that
russo
is
da
the
Aliança de
chair
Negócios de
of
Mulheres
the
dos BRICS,
women chapters of BRICS
da
from Russia.
nossa
She's here.
empresária
And our
Jiao
businesswoman,
Haing,
Jiao
presidente do
Haing,
capítulo
that is
chinês da Aliança de
the
Negócios
president of
de
the
Mulheres
chapter
dos
for
BRICS,
Women's Alliance at BRICS.
da Mariane
And
Gag,
Mariani
presidenta
Gag,
do
that is the
capítulo
president of the
de Aliança dos Negócios
Egyptian
das Mulheres dos
chapter
BRICS,
of businesswomen at BRICS.
da Lebogang Zulu,
Lebozan
presidenta do
Zulu, that
capítulo
is
sul-africano
the
da
president of
Aliança
the
dos
chapter
Negócios
of
das
the
Mulheres dos
African
BRICS,
Women's BRIC Group.
da Iravati
Iravati
Hemavan, presidente
Hemavan,
do
that is
capítulo
president of
indonésio da
the
Aliança dos
Indonesian
Negócios
chapter
das Mulheres dos
of
BRICS,
businesswoman from
da
BRICS.
Ferial
And
Armati,
Feriwara
presidenta do
March, that is the
capítulo
president of the chapter
emirático da Aliança dos
of the
Negócios das Mulheres dos
UAE
BRICS,
for Women's BRICS Group.
e da Constanza Negri, Sherpa da
Constanta
Business
Negri,
Fit.
that is the head
Quero
of this group.
dizer para as mulheres
I would like to receive the women
que o lugar que vocês
That
almejam
place
da
that you wish to
participação
reach,
política,
political
da
participation,
participação empresarial
business
e na
participation,
participação de qualquer coisa que vocês
and participate
quiserem
in anything
fazer,
that you wish to do in
depende
life depends
única e
only and
exclusivamente
solely
da ousadia de
of
vocês.
you being bold
Não
and
espere
dare. Do not
Que
expect
nós homens
that we men
sejamos
will be the
os
ones,
autores das
the
conquistas
authors
de
of
vocês,
your achievements. It has
São
to be the
vocês
women themselves.
que vão conquistar
You're the ones that will
o espaço de
achieve
vocês,
your own space,
fazendo o que vocês
doing
estão fazendo.
what you're doing
Nós
now.
temos apenas
And so I just
16% no mundo
see that only 16% in the
de
world
mulheres
of
no mundo
women
empresarial
in the business
é muito
world
pouco.
is not much.
Significa
It's not
que o
much.
machismo
It seems
ainda
that
toma conta dos
macho
empresários e quem sabe a
tendencies
economia
still
melhore
is
muito
running the
quando as
business
mulheres
sector,
tomarem
and so
conta. Vá se
it will change
preparando,
when
bom.
women will take over.
Vá se
So men,
preparando,
prepare
porque
yourselves,
quem sabe
because
o seu
women
dia
will
está
take
chegando.
over and increase the 16% of their share in the business world.
Eu quero
Very well.
Eu quero
I
cumprimentar
would also like to greet
os ministros brasileiros que
the
estão
Brazilian
aqui,
ministers of my
meu
delegation that are here,
companheiro
my
Mauro
brother
Vieira,
Mauro
ministro da
Vieira,
Relações
Foreign Affairs
Exteriores,
Minister of Brazil,
meu querido companheiro
and my
Alexandre
dear
Silveira, ministro
brother
de
Alexandre
Minas e
Silveira,
Energia,
Minister of Mines and
minha
Energy,
querida companheira
and my
Luciana
dear
Santos, da Frente de
Luciana
Tecnologia e
Santos
Inovação,
for
minha querida companheira Marina
Innovation,
Silva, do
Marina
Meio
Silva,
Ambiente
the
e Mudança
Environmental
do Clima,
Minister of Brazil
e o
and
nosso
Climate
querido
Change,
companheiro Marco Antônio Amaro, do
and
Gabinete
Marco
de
Antônio
Segurança
Marco, that
Institucional.
is the head of
E
the
também é
Institutional
importante
Security
comunicado
Cabinet, and
especial,
also
está presente
it's
entre
also
nós
present here
o
amongst us
embaixador
the ambassador
André Correia do Lago,
who is the chairman of COP30 in the city that will be held in Belém in November of this year. I also would like to greet our dear Mayor, Eduardo Paes, the mayor of the city of Rio de Janeiro, this wonderful city, marvelous city that is becoming the capital of world events that Brazil represents and organizes. I also would like to the leaders, and I also would have to thank here the president of our Bank of Brazil, Tarciana, that is showing here that the women are opening more space for themselves. My dear friends,
e minhas amigas, primeiro,
first of all,
eu quero agradecer
I
ao
would like to
Conselho
thank the
Empresarial
Business Council
e a Aliança
and the
Empresarial de
Business
Mulheres pela
Alliance of
organização
Women
deste
for
fórum.
organizing this forum
Aproximar nossos setores
and
produtivos.
to make it closer. Our productive sectors is a fundamental pillar
Os empreendedores aqui reunidos
of the
compõem o
BRICS.
eixo
The
dinâmico
entrepreneurs that are
da
gathered here are the
economia internacional.
dynamic axis of international
Os 12
economy.
membros plenos
The
do
11 full members of the BRICS
40%
already
do PIB
overcoming
global
40% of the
em paridade
global
de poder de
GDP
compra.
in terms of purchasing power
2024,
parity. In 2024,
enquanto o mundo
while the
cresceu
world has grown
3,3%,
3.3%, we can see that we had an average expansion of 4% of the BRICS countries.
Este ano,
This year,
seguiremos
we will
em
continue to
ritmo
grow
superior.
at a higher
Com
pace.
o crescimento de países
Adding
parceiros
new
e convidados,
Countries that are our partners and guests, we consolidated the group as a hub that will gather prosperous and dynamic economies. The presence of this forum, in this forum, of the Prime Minister of Malaysia,
presidente de turno da ASEAN, é reflexo disso.
Anwar bin
Temos
Ibrahim,
muito a
is a
aprender
reflection
com a
of this,
sinergia
and he's
permanente
also the acting president of
países em
ASEAN. We have a lot to
Isso nos
learn with the
permitiu
developing
enfrentar
countries in
juntos
terms of synergy.
os efeitos
This
da
allowed
crise
us to
financeira de
confront
2008
the
e a
global
pandemia da
financial crisis of
Covid-19.
2008 and the
Diante do
COVID-19
ressurgimento do
pandemics.
proteccionismo,
With the
cada
re-emergence
nação
of
emergente
protectionism,
defender o regime
now the
multilateral
emerging
de comércio
nations
e
have to
reformar
defend
a arquitetura
the
financeira
multilateral regime of
internacional.
trade and reform the international
Os
financial
BRICS
architecture.
segue como
The BRICS
fiador
continue to be
de futuro promissor.
the
Durante
ones
a
that
presidência
will
brasileira,
show us a promising
demos passo
future.
importante
During the Brazilian
ao
presidency
apoiar
or chairmanship,
coletivamente a
we gave an
Convenção da
important
ONU
step
para a
forward,
cooperação
supporting
tributária
collectively
e
the
a visão
UN
de reforma do
Convention
FMI.
for tax
O combate à
cooperation and a
desigualdade
vision to reform the
fortalece
IMF,
mercados
to fight
consumidores,
inequalities,
impulsiona
strengthen
o
consumer
comércio
markets,
e alavanca o
triggers trade,
investimento.
and leverages
Possuímos
investments. We
inúmeras
have
complementariedades
many different
econômicas.
economic
O
complementarities.
intercâmbio comercial
The
do
trade
Brasil com os BRICS
exchange with the
foi de
BRICS countries
210 bilhões de
went to
dólares no ano passado.
$210 billion
Mais que o
last year,
dobro do
more
fluxo
than the
com a União
double of
Europeia.
trade flow with the European
Só
Union.
em produtos
Just in terms of agribusiness,
brasileiros
Brazilian
exportamos
agribusiness,
71 bilhões
we
de
exported $71 billion just from the agribusiness, Brazilian agribusiness.
Nossos países
Our
podem
countries
liderar
can
novo
lead
modelo
a
de
new development model
pautado em
based in
agricultura
sustainable
sustentável,
agriculture,
indústria verde,
green industry,
infraestrutura resiliente
resilient
e
infrastructure, and
bioeconomia.
bioeconomics.
Reunimos
We gather 33% of arable land in the world, and that is responsible for 42% of the global
Crédito rural, fomenta a
agriculture and
agricultura de
livestock
baixo
production.
carbono
rural credit, fostering low-carbon agriculture, and restoring degraded land potentialize our capacity to produce food for the world. The BRICS were essential for the creation of the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty, to strengthen the industrial complex of health, the health industrial complex, to enhance access to medication is fundamental to overcome diseases that are socially determined that affect the most vulnerable countries. The technological revolution that pervades all sectors of our economies, public digital infrastructures make it feasible innovations and create opportunities for startups, for SMS, small and medium-sized companies. Artificial intelligence brings possibilities that a few years ago we could never imagine that it could happen. In the absence of clear-cut guidelines that were agreed collectively and models based only in the experience of great big techs will impose themselves. The risks and the collateral effects of artificial intelligence demand a multilateral governance. The decarbonization of our economies is an irreversible process. Just shortly before the COP30, we reinforced our responsibility with promoting a just, inclusive ecological transition. Brazil presented its NDCs that foresees a reduction from 59 to 67% of greenhouse gas emissions. Our countries are already amongst the largest investors in renewable sources of energy in the planet. There's an immense potential to enhance the production of biofuels, batteries, solar panels, and wind power turbines. We have strategic essential minerals for the energy transition. The BRICS concentrate 84% of the reserves of rare earth, 66% of manganese, and 63% of graphite of the world. According to the Energy International Agency, the demand for critical minerals should triple until 2040. We want to go beyond the extraction of these wealth. In the partnership with the private sector, we can qualify our participation in all the stages of the supply chain. Brazil is very well positioned for this leap forward. We have regulatory stable frameworks, qualified, skilled manpower, and clean energy for processing in an efficient manner the minerals and in a sustainable way. To consolidate so many fronts demands mobilizing resources. Yesterday I participated in the 10th annual meeting of the governors of the new development bank. From the creation of the NDB, $40 billion were passed in 120 projects in the field of transportation, basic sanitation, and clean energy. When we trigger or leverage the use of local currencies, the NDB has also contributed to reduce transaction costs and to facilitate financial operations. With the objective to simplify trade and investments, the central banks of the BRICS are working to develop payment means that are trans-border, instant, and safe. The national development banks are also important allies. In Brazil, the National Development Bank, the BNDES, is reaching records. From 2023, we tapped more than $50 billion for projects for sustainable production transformation. Dear friends, I'd like to thank you once again for the Business Council of the BRICS has played a central role that it has been exercised in promoting trade and in the improvement of the business environment of the BRICS. I congratulate the Business Women's Alliance for their fundamental action in favor of women entrepreneurship and gender equality to enhance and qualify the women participation in the labor markets, brings productivity gains and accelerates economic growth. I have the true conviction